You know, it's a time of lockdown, a lot of reflections of how one's life and career has panned out over all these years. And I was remembering one of my early bosses, a senior of mine in the civil service days. And it just struck me that so often people think feedback is negative. And if a manager were to give you feedback, uh, you're kind of paranoid, you're scared. I was about with 2 years experience in the government, and this officer who I was reporting to, uh, once I was leaving his room, big massive room, and he says, "Prabir," I said, "Yes, sir." Almost thinking that what's on his mind because I'd finished the meeting. He says, "Can you come and sit down again?" You naturally have your heart starting to beat a little faster because a boss is a boss, right? Why has he called me back? Now I know that he couldn't fire me, not in the government, but what would he have to say? And I remember he says, Prabir, I've learned something from you. Imagine I'm a rookie, I was about 25 at that time. And I said, learn something from me? And he says, yes. I said, and what is that you've learned from me? And he said, I have been observing you, and I notice that you make it a point to compliment at least one person every day. And I was not doing it for all these years that I have been working. And I think I'm going to practice this from tomorrow. In fact, from this moment. And that is why I asked you to just come back. And thank you for teaching me something that I was not practicing. Now, what's the point? The story is feedback is often to uncover some of our blind spots, which could be positive. It's not always about negative. And somehow we can create a culture where we can call out strengths that that particular individual may not be fully cognizant of. I was not. I was not aware that I was doing this. But when he gave me this input, I was able to look back and say why it makes sense. And because you became aware of it, you started practicing it even more consciously. And something which has helped me in my own career, in my own leadership journey. And I will always be grateful to him for pointing out what he pointed out to me at about 4:30 that afternoon. So friends, make this part of yourself. Highlight things to anyone who may not be aware of a strength that lies in oneself. Allow that person to leverage it to its full. Make yourself matter in the life of that person more positively than you think. And individually, if you become aware of a strength that you are not leveraging, start from that moment. It works wonders. And I can tell you, it did with me. Try it out.